Cool. Well, welcome to the Ingram Monthly Podcast. We are all Microsoft SureStep BDMs working across the Microsoft Cloud Stack. My name is Martyn Hall, and I'll allow my colleagues to introduce themselves now.
I'll go first this week. It was dead awkward last month one. My name is Mike Markey. I'm the Modern Workplace Business Development Manager in SureStep. Anything Office, Windows, kind of security related, that's my bag.
And I work alongside Mike. So my name is Nicola Miller. So I am the Business Development Manager for Modern Workplace too, and do everything that he's just said. So.
I'm Steve Gray. I am the Azure BDM, same as Martyn, Michael and Nicola, but for the Azure side.
Cool. So SureStep, do you want to do it? I don't mind.
So, what does Martyn do? We don't know what Martyn does.
That's a very good point, actually. What does Martyn do?
I thought it was just a Christmas decoration.
Sorry. Yeah. So I'm the Dynamics BDM. So I am focused on all things Dynamics and Power Platform.
And light up beards.
And I'm the one that feels particularly festive right now, so I have a very light up beard.
Yeah, because the time that this is being recorded, watched, presented, it is pretty much Christmas, so we thought we'd all get festive for you and put on our favourite Christmas jumpers, or our only Christmas jumper in my case.
So rather itchy.
I was forced into this.
Merry Christmas. Cool.
Mike, do you want to crack on with the SureStep piece, or Nicola?
Yeah, so with regards to SureStep, it's a global program from Microsoft. The team itself consists of 4 members in Ingram, so that's ourselves who've just introduced ourselves. And essentially our role is to help enable our partners by supporting them through the Microsoft journey. We'd normally act in, say, a parachute motion by dropping in, but not only to support with sales opportunities, but we can also help deliver the training, enabling you to become more efficient to actually sell more as well.
Solid.
Cool.
So this month,
Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Yes, this month on our podcast, we are going to cover off all the community call updates, and we all want to say Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Does anyone have any Christmas jokes?
I've got a few.
You what?
Oh God, here we go.
Christmas jokes. So here we go. What did the stamp say to the Christmas card?
He's laughing at the response already.
Stick with me and we'll go places.
That's awful.
Sorry.
That's the one you picked. That is the one you picked.
It's my favourite one around the table.
Martyn, any Christmas jokes apart from that beard?
I have no Christmas jokes, but if you're watching on YouTube, yes, my beard is a bit of a joke right now.
I think you just need to sit up a bit so everyone can see the full velocity of the beard, because you're a little bit low for the people that can watch, obviously.
There you go.
Is that attached to the mains, Martyn, or is that battery packed?
That's battery.
Okay. Cool.
I'd be a bit afraid if I was attached to the mains. I might
there's no chance
catch fire.
Yeah, I was going to say, no chance of combusting, is there?
No.
That's fine. Cool. Right.
Shall we?
Is that enough for the Christmas jokes? I think. Yeah.
I think so. I think, to be fair,
let's
one
talk
was
community
enough.
calls.
Okay. Martyn, who's got the most stuff? Because they can go first.
So most stuff, I think that fell with business applications this month by the sounds of things. So a couple of updates that we can talk. If you are feeling festive like us, then you can share your festivities with a lovely hashtag of #BizAppsHolidays. There's a lot of people within Microsoft are loving the festivities, a lot of Christmas trees, a lot of pets and Christmas stuff that's going under that hashtag. So feel free to share that, and you'll probably see yourself on one of the community calls coming soon. In terms of the other bits that came from the community call, basically, there's a lot of talk around the investments that are going into SMB side of things for BizApps. As such, there is a new. It was already announced actually, but it hadn't come to fruition just yet, and it's still yet to come. But that's the Cloud Business Applications competency that you can earn, and there's an SMB option. So previously it'd be quite difficult to achieve because you need 5 people passing multiple exams, and it requires quite a lot of investment in order to do that. From an SMB side of things, it becomes a lot more achievable, where it will be measured on the upcoming PCI scores. But the threshold for revenue, for instance, it starts at that $30,000 revenue, which is a lot lower compared to what it has been with the previous cloud business applications one. But the other buckets to fill up for points for PCI, you've got 10 net customer adds. You'd have 5 functional consultants you can get more points on. 2 developers would add some more points. If you have 10 deployments, 10 new deployments, you get some points, and also 35% monthly active user growth. All of those feed into different points. If you want to know more details about the PCI scoring and how you can achieve your competencies, just reach out to me and we can book some time in to discuss that, because that's coming into play from April with the normal cloud business applications one. In terms of some other bits and bobs, there's actually, I think we've mentioned advanced specializations previously from Azure, but actually business applications is getting 2 advanced specializations coming.
Oh, wow.
That's going to be small and mid business management as an advanced specialization, and you'll also have a low code application development. So that'll be really focused around Power Platform there. And I know that we've probably all heard from our partners we were speaking that Power Platform is something they want to know more about and invest some more time in. So that it wouldn't surprise me if there's more partners that want to get into that space going into next year.
And just on that one then, Martyn, the Power Platform, does that also give the partner more in their incentives pot? Is that right?
So Power Apps falls within the Global Strategic Product Accelerator Tier 2. So that'll give you the. I know I have to say it really in that fashion every single time, otherwise I'll mess it all up. But that'll give you a 10% incentive back from that. But other Power Platform doesn't actually sit within any incentive, sadly.
Okay, but it's nice to know that. Sorry, it's nice to know then that there is some kind of steer and drive to actually go after that. Then definitely.
Yep. And that's my updates from the community call.
I thought you said you had a lot of updates.
It looks a lot, but it's not a huge amount.
Rattle through them really quickly.
Yeah.
So while you've just gone through an advanced specialization, I know that we've got one in Modern Workplace, don't we, Nicola?
We have indeed. So another month, another new advanced specialization. So this one is on identity and access management. So last month we had one on threat protection, and we have another one next month too. So obviously those advanced specializations are really rolling out across the clouds at the moment. So but how do you get them? I suppose is always one thing that everyone wants to see. So essentially you need to be a gold status in the security competency. So with these, we'll put these slides up somewhere if we can, or come and speak to us and we can guide you through those. But you will need to have either 4 individuals on an MS 500 or an AZ 500. So you've got to have some real good going for that, have that kind of knowledge built in. And then you need to have either 4,000 active users for Microsoft 365 security workload, or $1,000 a month in Azure security customer consumption in the previous 12 months.
So, and just to support with that AZ500 messaging and the MS500 messaging for those exams, Microsoft released a skilling offer earlier in the year to try and help drive those to kind of back into work kind of thing. So normally there's the certifications and things where you might take the fundamentals or security exam or Azure administrator or Power Platforms, etc. These exams, the AZ500 and MS500, if you've been impacted by COVID in some way, shape or form this year, you can actually take those exams at the moment for $15, which is insane. Just a huge reduction on the price. The only prerequisite is that you have to book it before the end of December. So you might only have a few days by when this gets released, and you have to take that exam before the end of March 2021. So, but yeah, to try and support you in that growth and acceleration.
There's also one thing that I think that came out with regards to the security piece was about so Microsoft are doing a masterclass on Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. So that's on the 13th of January. So it's a 4-hour workshop. And I think it's Defender for Endpoint. It's been a lot of conversation about that recently. So if you want to reach out, we can send you the link to that. I think it'd be certainly really good to get onto if that's something that you're looking to do as well.
So yeah, no, it definitely sounds key, you know, in the kind of journey to achieving that exam and pushing towards security competencies and things. So it's, Steve, did you have anything come out this month at all?
Is that yours done, Mike?
I don't think so. We've got a couple of other bits, but
but you know, while we're talking about security, we can kind of bring you along in the conversation as well.
Well, from the community call perspective, there was a few technical glitches, so one of the speakers couldn't join, so it was cut down to a very short community call this time. Now, there was a message around people with SPLA licensing in particular, and the benefits of moving that across to CSP, but I won't go through all of the details of that because it was fairly high level. So if you do have SPLA business, I would suggest getting in touch with one of, well, either myself or one of your account managers internally at Ingram and trying to have that conversation around what we can do with your SPLA licensing, around either migrating it over to CSP or at least building a CSP practice alongside that to complement it. But the good thing is the fact that was basically it from the community calls gives me a chance to sort of, do you want to do your bits and then I can sort of pitch some of the other bits that I can? Mike?
Yeah, can do. So one of the other pressing pieces that came out in the Modern Workplace this month on the community call was accessibility features in Microsoft 365. So we know that accessibility is increasingly becoming kind of more prevalent as kind of time moves on and things. But it was kind of looking at it as in terms of, you know, having everyone inclusive and creating that technology, and kind of the Microsoft statement through it was empowering all through digital inclusion. So just a couple of stats and figures. So with regards to it, currently 1 billion plus people have disabilities, many of whom actually need assistive technology. Myself, I use assistive technology every day throughout many different forms as well. So whether it be my personal life and I'm gaming because I'm colorblind, so I'll use the color filters on there, or whether it be through kind of Teams meetings and things where I might use the closed captions because actually I prefer reading because my hearing can be a little bit detrimental sometimes. Hence why I've got 2 cups on the ears as opposed to just a single ear headset. But the features which came out within Microsoft 365, so there's a couple of those. Can anyone guess what I don't know, obviously we talked through closed captions, but to help with reading skills, does anyone know what that is, particularly more within OneNote and things? Does anyone know? I'm going to take that as a no. So it's immersive reader. So if you are dyslexic or you have trouble kind of focusing on the screen itself, you can actually break up the words as per different syllable, and you can even change the colour of the page to give you that kind of focus. But you can also look line by line, which is really, really interesting. I know my sister, when she was learning to read, really broke that down a couple of years ago. One of the other ones, PowerPoint Designer. It's a feature which has been out for, yeah, it's I can't remember actually when it released. It was a good couple of years ago, but essentially, if you kind of had some information on a slide and you were like not knowing how to format it, the AI within PowerPoint would actually build out that slide for you. So it works in the background to match your content to professionally designed layouts, which is really, really interesting.
I think that helps anybody though, because I mean, the amount of times people have to kind of have the fear of God put in them when they want to do PowerPoint, and they're just like, I don't know how to make it pretty. I think that PowerPoint design button, which is just on the right hand side, just is a godsend in so many ways for some people. But yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely agree. And then just to highlight some of the ease of access settings. So if you've got your PC, you can kind of use it without the need of a display because you've got features such as narrator, which we're probably all familiar with. You can see what's on that screen by using magnifier, so zooming in a little bit closer. You've got the likes of sticky keys, toggle keys, filter keys, or even an on-screen keyboard, and even down to changing the pointer size and having, those different color filters on the screen. But to support with this, Microsoft have actually recognized that, some people like to kind of be shown that we are inclusive of accessibility and we kind of can demonstrate our knowledge. So they've actually released an accessibility fundamentals course now with a recognized accreditation off the back of it, which is pretty interesting. So I've not taken it yet, but it is one that I probably will look to take.
Seen a lot of people on LinkedIn, so this has only just been released for partners to use. So a lot of people within Microsoft have actually already done it. So you might have seen it on LinkedIn with the little round badge with achieving accessibility. But it says it's like 2.5 hours tops to get it done. You can find that in the MS Learn portal.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
It's yeah, and that was kind of the main things which I pulled out from this Modern Workplace community call this month. I'm not sure about yourself, Nicola.
Yeah, so the workplace analytics, so they had some pieces on that. So in terms of not looking necessarily, how we all love data, we all know how Martyn loves his data, but it's on about productivity and well-being, and actually understanding that productivity and the well-being part. Again, we're all working from home, so actually, are people working in the evenings, and having that, being able to have a look at those that analytics that pull through on the background. Yeah. I probably will say that Microsoft have been looking over things and been looking at things like Headspace and in terms of actually how we're working. So this is more on this workspace analytics. It's more about well-being than actually necessarily how long are we on a laptop for, what's the productivity levels, etc. Is really kind of understanding it from a personal well-being side. However, true to Microsoft form, we do have a name change in January. Can't start a new year without a name change, can we?
Really?
Honestly.
Just one?
Well, yeah, possibly just one, but we'll wait and see in January, won't we? So, but just putting it out there, we have another name change on the horizon. So anything in terms of when it comes down to it, there was a big thing at Ignite about the workplace analytics and the direct. How they're directly insighted into Teams as well. So like anything's connecting all the time, and certainly Teams is such a monster these days in terms of how that's really kind of changed the way we collaborate and communicate with people. And over 650 million calls in October, so wow. So that's 11-fold over March this year. So it's not even like March last year, it's March this year. So in terms of like Teams, and it's still progressing, and we've got breakout rooms now which are down to general release and actually made out for everyone. So if you have any questions around breakout rooms, I know it's a extremely hot topic and something that everyone was asking for. It is now here and it's now live.
And has anyone had the chance to play with the breakout rooms before?
I haven't yet.
No, it's ridiculously easy to set up. Whoever's actually created the meeting will see kind of a new emblem, two little boxes on the kind of raised next to the raised hand or the ellipsis, and from there you literally putting in how many rooms you'd like up to the maximum limit of 50, and then you can assign a room automatically or you manually assign a room, and from there, if you're the host, you can dip around to each room and things and check out. So yeah, really easy to set up. So
can you do that prior to a call?
Yeah, you can. So you'd add the breakout rooms.
You do it in a meeting, isn't it, rather than a call? So it's on a meeting. Yeah.
So yeah, no, but really easy to use, very intuitive, and happier tier, even though I don't look it. So yeah, I do have one more thing just to add in at the back of the Modern Workplace kind of update. Even though it's not related to Modern Workplace updates, but what kind of motorcycle does Santa like to ride? A Holly Davidson.
Oh no! Someone get this boy a taxi.
I want my Harley Davidson.
Thanks, Mike. Is
No
that the end? Are you sure?
That is the well.
I think this is rounding up 2020 beautifully.
Flat.
Full of jokes.
So yes, from an Azure perspective, I mentioned that it was SPLA was the main focus of the partner call, the community call. But there's just a couple of points I want to make for moving into 2021 as a calendar year, and that is around moving across to the new commerce experience. Now, I don't know if anyone knows about this. There's been various terms thrown around it: modern commerce, new commerce experience, Azure plan. Just want to make sure everyone is aware that once you've moved across to this new commerce experience, to earn rebates from Microsoft, you will need to be a gold cloud platform competency holder. So what I would suggest is getting in touch with your account managers, discussing around the learning plan for getting the sort of exam requirements, certification requirements, which will be 2 of a number of different certifications, and plus currently $100,000 of Azure consumption in the last 12 months. But that's just a sort of an FYI that we prefer that partners start looking towards that now before everyone is moved across to that modern commerce experience, just to ensure that you continue to receive your incentives and rebates. Another piece for next year is if you do have any opportunities currently with any customers that you need assistance with, obviously get in touch. From an Ingram perspective, we can assist you with a lot of things, but from Microsoft in particular, this year there was a lot of messaging in the partner call, community calls around Azure Assist, but I'm just going to retouch on that. So we have proof of concept funding available for deals of a certain size, where Microsoft will take ownership of that subscription, and there is some funding and credits up to a maximum of $5,000 that can be applied onto that subscription. Obviously, again, as I said, depending on the size of those deals. We have Demand Response, which is a team based in Dublin from Microsoft, who will be happy to jump on calls with you and your customer, and you can have a joint sales messaging. And Microsoft can handle any of those questions that you're unsure of. Again, there is a minimum deal size on that. From an Azure perspective, it's around about $1,000 a month or over. Then Microsoft can get involved with that one. And thirdly, we have solution assessments, where Microsoft will run a full assessment of a customer's infrastructure. It may be, I'm focused, there is 4 different ones, but the 2 that will be the main ones are the Azure infrastructure migration and Windows Virtual Desktop. So Microsoft will run an assessment on that infrastructure, give you a nice, pretty a report that you can take to your customers. The customers will receive on the cost savings potentials of reservations, specific size disks, whether or not you right size that or lift and shift the infrastructure. I won't go into too much detail, but those are the things that are available for our partners this year. All of them do have requirements on minimum deal sizes, but please get in touch with that with us to find out more on those pieces. And then the next bit is not really Azure related, it's everyone. It's an Ingram message, and it's around our FY21 plan from a marketing perspective.
Yep.
Now, next year from January, in fact, there'll be various elements of content available for you. We're going to be doing a series from both the sales and technical point of view, and also a SureStep point of view, with 5-minute videos around breaking down various elements. So from an Azure perspective, it may be the Azure Migrate tool, it may be working securely, working remotely. From SureStep, it may be maximizing your benefits from a Microsoft perspective. Technical will be the how-to from the portals, etc. But this is going to be across all clouds, and it is, as I say, all of us guys will be involved in those how-to videos. There'll also be longer sales webinars, longer technical webinars, workshops, and also there'll be a continuation of our podcasts and our all cloud webinars, whereby we look at in particular segments or verticals and work out the best way of attacking them for all clouds, whether it be modern workplace, Azure or Dynamics. Well, that's just keep an eye out, an FYI, on social media channels for updates on when and where those are going to appear. But yes, very, very good series coming for us for next year, and will allow us to give you the best enablement and keep you up to date as much as possible, to help drive you and grow you through 2021.
And the most of that content that we've kind of picked out to be delivered, Martyn, correct me if I'm wrong, our partners have fed back and said this is what they want, isn't it? So this is what we're delivering to them.
Yeah, so these 5-minute videos, this has actually come about because we've got a lot of partners overall, but we've got a lot of partners that gave us some feedback of how FY20 went and what support they'd like to see more of in FY21. So that's where a lot of the topics have been generated from. Part of it is where there's some strategic push from Microsoft, for instance, as well, that we know it's going to be a big part of FY21. So that's where we've got some additional content coming from that as well.
Yeah, it's and just probably to highlight something that's kind of recent times been a little bit of more of a conversational piece is the MPA. So I'm pretty sure we've all had conversations with our partners around it, but if you do need any assistance in signing that Microsoft partner agreement or enrolling into the CSP programs, just to make sure that those orders that you're transacting can transact properly, reach out to any of us and we can support with that process and making sure you're set up properly.
Just one more thing on top of enablement. So along with the webinar series, short series, podcasts, everything else that we're going to be extremely busy with in January, we've also got the upsell training that we've got from Microsoft. So this is how to take your customers through the next SKU up through the Microsoft stack. What does that look like? What the features and benefits? What's the objection handling? All that kind of stuff. So we've been doing some really good training on that currently, but that's being rolled out further into next year as well. So if you have any questions regarding that, or that's something you want to look at, then either speak to myself or Mike. So from a modern workplace standpoint, you know, what are the differences between Microsoft 365 Business Standard, Business Premium? What does that mean to you? Margin, all that kind of stuff. We can have the commercial conversations, but also there's product and licensing conversations as well. Yeah,
and like there is that criteria we'd look for within yourselves as partners, but have that discussion with us. You know, we can definitely help you steer in that direction. But spaces are limited, so we do need to get these out. You know, as and when into Q3 for Microsoft, Q1 for us, Q whatever for yourselves watching, because everyone has those different financial years. But yeah, no, it's really good. I think we've just had touch points with just under 100 delegates this time around, I think. So really, really good response from yourselves. So yeah, can't thank you enough for taking that up with us.
While we're on the quarters and different things like that, it's probably worth noting for different partners that the H1 for Microsoft is about to come to a close, and it's worth looking at your co-op funds.
Yeah.
A lot of you are going to be really on it and have probably used your co-op funds or put requests in already, but this is a time that you need to plan what you're going to spend your co-op fund on, so you don't lose it. And I don't think anybody wants to lose some cash.
No, they certainly don't. But then equally, the other pieces, on the 5th of January, we've got the new incentive updates as well. So yeah, so we're coming literally straight into the new year, straight into some new incentive updates. So watch this space to see what happens with that.
Cool. We'll probably cover that off next month. So I think that kind of brings us around to a close then, doesn't it? So this is the time we tell all of you that we are on LinkedIn. Connect with us on LinkedIn. You can find me by searching for my name or scanning the QR code if you're watching on YouTube. Does everyone else want to run through theirs?
You could just play Snap with the pictures. So you'll find me, Nicola Miller, as I say, something that looks like at Specsavers or some sort of optical shops. So yeah.
So, and yeah, myself without the glasses, just in that bottom left corner, QR code or by my name, Mike Markey, or you can go by the link if you really want to.
And exactly the same for me with Steve Gray. That's it, isn't it? I'm going to take this Christmas t-shirt off now.
Yeah, mine's really itchy.
Cool. Well, we shall hope to hear from you guys soon. Thank you
Brilliant.
very
Thank
much. Have a
Thank
good
Thanks
New Year.
everyone. Have a great
Have a good
Christmas. And a
Christmas.
good New Year.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.